Okay, next we go to China. So the question is China really that bad? Let's look at the China annual GDP growth rate. It's actually 5.2. Can someone tell me, is it higher than the US one or lower than the US one? Higher. Thank you so much. Higher. So it's actually, if you look at the trend, also not too shabby. Okay, not too shabby. So basically, the China GDP is still growing. 5.2%, I think it's actually still quite a decent rate. Okay. If you look at the unemployment rate, it is also doesn't look that bad as you can see here. It's actually on a downward trend. Okay, I have the stats for the China youth unemployment rate. So yeah, it's actually doesn't look good. I don't know why. I don't know what happened here. Don't ask me. But even at 14.9%, it actually doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. Okay, so indeed there is a cause for concern. Okay, based on this chart. Okay, but if you actually look at the PMI, in fact, it seems quite okay compared to US. So the last two, this is November, December, actually it's above 50. And besides October, you can see that means September, August also above 50. Okay. So yeah, I mean the China economy is not fantastic. It's definitely not fantastic, but is it really going on the downhill? I have my reservations. That's what I'm trying to see here. Trying to say here. Okay, you have the overall unemployment rate still down. You have the GDP growth. You have the PMI above 50. Is it fantastic? No, but is it really that bad? I don't agree lah. That's my personal opinion. Okay. Again, we look at the news. There's actually some interesting news that caught my attention. Tesla overtaken by China's BYD as world's biggest EV makers. So China now, I think all these are not new news, but basically China is actually winning quite a bit of competitions. Okay, as you can see, I think this is quite significant. I mean, Tesla for the longest time is known to be like the EV maker, and now the BYD has actually surpassed them. I think this is something quite significant. Okay, even things like China now actually made their own planes, C919, maiden flight outside mainland, viewed as a future Boeing competitor. So they are actually not stopping there. They are actually also want to compete in many other areas as well. Okay. And there's one other thing one other thing about China, which I think they haven't really implemented yet is they could have actually put in a lot more stimulus packages. So China's leader pledged to spur domestic demand, economic recovery in 2024. So they definitely have the power, the resources, okay, to actually implement stimulus packages if they want to. So as we all know, politically, it's actually easier for China to do so, as long as the main person want to do it. Okay, it's easier to pass through all his the government, the government in terms of implementing all the stimulus packages. And yeah, it seems like they are likely to do so if the economy keep going on downhill. Okay, so again, we actually look at why the China economy has, or the China stock market has been coming down. So to me, it seems to be a confidence issue rather than a fundamental issue. So foreigners investors have now taken up most of the money they put in China stock market this year. So I don't really see this as a major fundamental issue. I think it's just a confidence issue. Okay. So in that sense, I am actually still okay with the Chinese economy. And I think this downturn is likely to be temporary. This is my opinion. So with that, my base assumption for China is, okay, the CBET lah. Okay, I think China will bottom out. China will bottom out in 2024 But whether it will bounce back or not, then I don't think it's so fast. But I believe China should more or less, in terms of their stock market, has hit their bottom. So that is my opinion.